Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Meet My Passion, YouTube's premier channel about all things women's football. And have we all caught our breaths yet from that stellar ending to Spain versus Sweden here? Because wow, what a way to sign off on a semi-final match and into the finals here, as we had Spain taking on Sweden here. Spain like on a 4-1-2-3 formation and Sweden like on a 4-2-3-1 formation here. And pretty much from the get-go, this game was just even Stevens. Neither team would give the other an inch to go through on goal. Going into the second half, there was just nothing to give between the two teams here. But just to focus a little bit more on the first half here, both teams were pretty much going at it here, just going back and forth. Lots of transitional football here. Spain weren't playing the usual silky, smooth and fast-paced football because they just couldn't, because Sweden were making sure that they just could not put on those final killer passes that would put them ahead of the game that Spain were used to doing in the game against Netherlands and beforehand against Switzerland. And much credit must go to Sweden here, who did their very best to make sure Spain wouldn't do that. They just stifled the Spanish attack so much so that it was a very stodgy game going into the second half here, with the only real good opportunity for both sides coming in the 42nd minute from Rolfa, who had a very near shot stopped by the keeper. And going into the second half, it was going to be 0-0 for both teams here. And into the second half was pretty much more of the same here, with Spain doing their best to go at the Swedish defense here, but Sweden also were doing their very best, to a very good degree in my opinion as well, to just snuff out any opportunity Spain had to attack the goal. That was up until the substitution of Sama Parajuelo, which just flipped the game on its head eventually, as the final 20 minutes of the game became a skirmish for the teams to see if there could be a winner within regulation time here. As the 17th minute, Redondo from the floor would attempt a shot would just narrowly go wide here, and was definitely an encouraging sign from the Spanish national team here, who eventually took more of the impetus here, as in the 80th minute, Sama Parajuelo leading the attack here would get herself on the score sheet for the second consecutive game off the bench here to give Spain the 1-0 lead going into the final minutes of the game. And the drama did not stop there. In fact, this is where it really started, as just 7 minutes later, Blomqvist would volleyed home from a Hurtig header here, which made it seem as though Sweden and Spain were going to be headed for extra time here. But if you blinked, you're going to miss the very opportune moment that Spain took from a corner set piece here to get themselves ahead just less than a minute after Blomqvist had scored, as Carmona hit a goal from distance here to give Spain the lead once more and eventually the win here, as Spain, for the first time ever in the women's national team's history, have made the final of the Women's World Cup here. And looking at the match overall, both teams really did leave it all out on the field here. And if the result had gone any other way apart from Spain winning, it would still been as fine as it is, because both teams were worthy winners here. I do think that there is a little bit of work to be done more on the Swedish side of things, as this is their second consecutive semi-final where they've been knocked out, and I think there's something that's inhibiting the team from making that final push to the final stage there. But I think that's very slim pickings in terms of criticisms, because Sweden really did make a very concerted effort to keep on improving game after game at this edition of the World Cup here, especially looking at their knockout matches against the USA and Japan, and would not been out of the question should they have beaten Spain here given their performances. So again, it is very slim pickings in terms of criticisms, but the team really did perform well, and hopefully at their next major tournament they can continue to build on this, because they have a very good squad, and I will be the first to admit that I was very wrong about their prospects here. Given their group stage performances, I had little to no belief that Sweden actually get themselves out of the group stages, let alone make it to the semi-finals here. So for them to go so far and to just take the names that they did en route to being here to the semi-finals, it shows that the team is moving in the right direction. And hopefully with Gerhardsen, or even another coach should things not go his way in the near future, can take this team to the finals that they deserve to be, and hopefully win some silver, because Sweden are a very good team all around. There really aren't any weaknesses in that team, except maybe just a little bit more dynamism when going to attack, but again, that's very slim picking when it comes to criticism, because Sweden are just a very good team overall. And for La Roja, they are simply 90 minutes away from making history for themselves here. They had a very good tournament so far, apart from the one blip of their loss to Japan, but they have improved since that loss, and they're definitely going to be the strong favorites in the final, but it definitely depends on the team that they're facing. I do fancy their chances should they come up against England, but if they do end up meeting Australia in the final, they have a huge mountain to climb, because not only only are the Aussies a very good team to contend against, but also the fact that the Matildas have the home ground advantage. Spain will be fighting against the players and the fans, so it'll definitely be an interesting final depending on which way it goes. But otherwise, it was a very good performance here by the Spanish team here. Both teams really played well to themselves, and congratulations to both of them, especially Spain for reaching the finals, and commiserations to Sweden, but hopefully they'll come back around next time. And those are the things that we learned from today's video. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video after England and Australia go head to head.